guys, it's me again here in my classroom, and I want to go over kind of how I do Polar Animals Week. I start out with this little book all about polar animals. It was just in like a scholastic set of books, and I also, a long time ago, you're going to be able to tell by what these look like, I made these little cards. This is an Arctic hare in the summer and fall, and here it is in the winter. And I do the same thing with the caribou and the ermine and the Arctic fox and the ptarmigan. So I also will show them a video after we talk about how these animals change color and why they change color for the winter. We talk about who their predators are and camouflage and habitat and all of that, and just blending in with the snow. So the kids will learn a whole lot that first day and be introduced to several polar animals. And then we go on to do our activities. And one of the first activities that I love to do is, I just call it the Arctic hare in the snow. Super easy. All I do is cut out some white ears, so 2 per student. I use just a circle punch to punch the eyes and a pink nose, and I use a cotton ball for their little cottony tail. I give the kids a piece of blue paper. I have them just smear white paint as thick as they want it, and then they stick the ears, eyes, nose, and tail on the paper. And this is their Arctic hare being camouflaged in the snow. Super easy craft, easy to prep. It's great. So that's what I use to kind of carry that theme of that camouflage and trying to hide from predators into the day after circle time. And then, you guys, there's a number of activities that I could do. I'm just going to show you the ones that I have in my lesson plan for polar animals for preschool and pre-kindergarten. For literacy, one literacy that they like is I've got these little polar bear and penguin letter trace cards, and these are laminated, so they just need a dry erase marker, and they practice using their pinchy fingers to hold that dry erase marker and try to follow those lines. Now, I'm pretty easy with them. I want them to get some coordination with their hands and start building that hand strength and fine motor skills before I'm really going to care that much about grip. With my pre-K students, I'll start coaching them towards using their pinchy fingers and their working fingers and their stabilizers to hold writing things. But for my 3-year-olds, I'm okay. I'm okay with that. One of the math things that I'll do, and I might save this one for our polar bear day, I've got these little polar bear mats, and then I've got some mini erasers that I've got from Target years ago, and this has a number 5. So I'll say, okay, this is the number 5. Let's count 5 erasers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we have 5 polar bear erasers on our little mat, and these go from 1 to 10. So it's a good one-to-one correspondence, numeral identification, and even if you're using something small like this, a good fine motor math activity. For literacy, another activity I have is I've got polar bears and the mouse here, and it is a letter sound in the frame, and this one's super easy. It's X-ray, kind of gives it away, and you'll clip the letter that corresponds to that letter sound. Now for my 3-year-olds, this is probably not one I'd jump right into. But for my pre-K, I would pick all the letters that we focused on, plus first letters of their names. And you know what? My class is pretty bright this year, so I actually might do every letter. But I kind of am going to gauge on where I think my kids are. I don't ever want to give my kids something that I think is too much for them to handle. Another fun activity that I have in that Color Animals lesson plan, excuse me, is this which penguin is different. So each one of these cards has 4 penguins, and one is just not like the other. This is a great activity to do with your 3-year-olds. They really have to look at these. For your 4-year-olds, you could really spice it up by using these penguin fact cards. And this has all kinds of varieties of penguins, their pictures, and just different facts about those penguins. Where they live, what they eat, how tall they are, things like that. So they can really become a penguin expert with this activity. Another really great activity that I have, and it's a really good letter matching activity. This goes through the entire alphabet A to Z with just polar animals, and I'm not kidding. So for E, I've got my emperor penguin, and the pieces fit together to form an emperor penguin. P, I've got polar bear, pieces fit together to make a polar bear. W, we've got walrus, and I've got every letter covered. Every single letter, there is a polar animal. They might be a little bit of a stretch, but you know. Another great counting and fine motor activity I have is I've got these little penguins on chenille sticks or pipe cleaners, and this has a number on his belly, and it's the number 3. I put out some frosty colored pony beads, and the idea is to thread that many pony beads onto the pipe cleaner. So this guy has 3 on his tummy, so we're gonna thread 1, 2, 3. So this is great fine motor, great one-to-one correspondence, counting, numeral identification, very developmentally appropriate, super easy to set up, super easy to make. Okay, I'm going to show you some more activities that I like to do. I will have a day where I'll focus on polar bears, and all the activities that we do will have to do with polar bears. And the craft that I do is just a simple paper plate polar bear with cotton balls, circles for ears, eyes, nose, and then the kids can draw their own mouth. But everybody will make one of these little paper plate polar bears, hardly any prep, really, really easy. You could use googly eyes to make it even less prep, because those, of course, are ready for you. Another craft I've done, I have not done this every year, you guys, but it's a Christmas craft. It's a polar animals craft. It could also just be a forest animals craft. It's just making a reindeer, or you could make a deer. So I've just got a little face shape, some eyes. They can draw a nose, make a smile, and then we've got some pieces cut to make antlers. So that is another fun craft that we do. I'd have to say the biggest hit of the week is always when we do penguins. And you guys, there is a penguin called a macaroni penguin, and the kids think that's about the funniest thing that they have ever heard, and they become enthralled with the macaroni penguin. So we make these hats, and it's just like a half circle and then some circle eyes, and then I always like to make my beaks open or close, and then I add just some yellow curly ribbon if they want to make their penguin a macaroni penguin. If they don't, it's just a regular penguin. This is a really old one. I made my own paper strips for this. I use scented strips now, you guys. They're a great width. They're really easy to make the side that you want. Just go to Amazon and type in scented strips. I like white because then they're kind of universal and I can use them with anything. But those are the main crafts I do, the penguin hats, the polar bear, the Arctic hare in the snow. The kids really, really like those. I'm going to show you a couple more math and literacy activities that I do. I've got a count and match. So here I've got the number 4, and you just count and make a match. So you find a card that has 4 polar animals. Here's 4 Arctic foxes. Here's 4 walruses. Here's 4 penguins. And here is 4 polar bears. I think those are all the options that I have, but this is a great little activity too. The kids really like the numeral identification. They like seeing the cute pictures of the animals. They love this whole week. Any week, you guys, that has to do with animals, the kids are going to love. I also have the Feed Me. Okay, so I've got this guy, this penguin. He's on a gift bag. I just cut the mouth out on both the gift bag and the penguin. And this actually has on it, I'm hungry, feed me 10 fish, because this is what he likes to eat. So all of them have, like there's polar bear, an Arctic fox, penguins, just all the animals, snowy owls, and it has the actual things they like to eat. So it's kind of a counting and a science activity all in one. And I'm going to do a completely separate video on my favorite science activity. But another thing that I really dive into, you guys, is the Mitten. And I use the board book. I have the full book, but we put on the Mitten play, and I use the board book for that because it's a little bit abbreviated. And then I have a little template that says, my mitten is so big, blank can fit in. I always do my whole class, and then I'll say all their names, and they think that's really cute. But you guys, this is so fun. I bring a white blanket, and I cover one of my tables, and the kids become the animals in the mitten, and I'll show you how in a sec. And they go under the table to be inside the mitten. But you guys, I got these gorgeous printables from Jan Brett's website, and I just tie them onto strings, and the kids wear them and become that character. So I got the hedgehog, the owl, the mouse, the mole, the fox, the badger, the hare, and of course the bear that does the great big sneeze at the end. But if you go to janbrett.com, you guys are going to die over everything that she offers teachers. It's absolutely amazing. What a wonderful woman. But I also cut out of felt Nikki's mitten, his white mitten, before the animals got in and after. And I usually play the part of Nikki because the kids really want to just be the animals. And we take turns being the animals and being the audience. And you guys, if they could do it over and over and over and over and over again, we would. Another thing that we like to do, and this is free in my Teachers Pay Teachers store, I've got a mama polar bear and baby polar bear letter match. So one has the uppercase V, one has the lowercase v. And the babies are adorable and the mothers are adorable, and it's just a cute little letter match game, and that is 100% free. Another thing that's in my Polar Animals lesson plan, and you guys, I don't have time to show you everything that you get, but you get like the class posters and all that stuff. If you've watched my classroom setup videos for this week, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But I always like to do a little scavenger hunt with my kids. So as part of learning the polar animals, they all get one of these sheets. You can just do grayscale on your copier if your school does not have a color copier. Mine does, thank goodness. So I make one copy for each of the kids. We put them on a little clipboard, and then out in the hall, I hide all the polar animals, like the orca, the snowy owl, the narwhal, the Arctic fox, penguins, polar bears, walrus, Arctic hare, blue whale, and the puffin. So I just hide all of those in the hallway, and it's great. Another thing I do, you guys, is I have a special day that I call Yeti Day, and I read Yeti books. We do Yeti activities, and the big thing, of course, we play There's a Yeti in My Spaghetti because that's super important. But the big thing is we do almost like a journal page or a writing exercise of what their Yeti, they color a Yeti, a girl Yeti or a boy Yeti, and they can add any detail they want. They need to say what their Yeti's name is, what their Yeti's favorite thing to do is, and what their Yeti likes to eat. So if they can't write it, which most of them can't, I write that for them. And then at the end of center time, we have Yeti show and tell, and they will talk about their Yeti and hold it up, and it's magical. And we even have Yeti snacks. I kind of break my no sugar rule, and we do gummy worms and pretzels because we found out a couple years ago on Google that Yetis like to eat worms and sticks. So I'm going to see if I can find, I've got like a Yeti rhyme and match activity right here. You just cut the cards and then they rhyme. Hang on, all of this stuff is back here. I put Yeti coloring pages out in my writing center. Oh yeah, here's some Yetis. This is Stephen J. Yeti the third. He likes meatloaf and going to work at the bank. This is Cammie. She likes shopping and chocolate. This is Sam. He likes pizza and to play Mario Kart. So that, and this is Princess Penelope of Patagonia. She likes to eat French macarons and bonbons and play ping pong. So these are the examples that myself and other teachers have made up for the kids. And it helps kind of get their creative juices flowing. They're like, oh, you can put a crown on your Yeti. You can make your Yeti earrings. Your Yeti can have a baseball bat or work at a bank or have a mustache. I also, shoot, you guys, I also have, I can't find it. Oh, well. I have Yeti tracing shapes and, counting, a Yeti counting game. And of course, there's a Yeti in my spaghetti. And I think, you guys, for polar animals, I think that about does it.